5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
It's Friday! Welcome, your open metaverse community. I hope all of you people are out there. I hope you're all filling our channels because we have a special surprise for you today. And this surprise will only, and I mean only, be available to people that are joining this stream from start to finish. So I hope you got your glass of water like we do, because you got to stay hydrated, like my friend Yahya from VR Division always says. I hope you have your snacks ready, because we're gonna dive in. Obviously, I'm gonna try and do 30 minutes, but as you guys know, I'm gonna end up doing it a little bit longer. Just a staple of our AMAs every week. But welcome. And before I continue talking forever, let me say this. I have some amazing guests today. Namely, I have here the infamous, or should I say famous, that's up to you guys, Mark Studholme from MetaMundo. But before we switch over, I also want to do a quick announcement. We did a poll in Discord the other week to find out what should be the next event in the Your Open Metaverse community. And the winner, Daniel, is trying to talk to me. But
yeah, the sound is not working.
The sound is not working?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh shit, I did it again. Okay, guys. I'm gonna apologize to the Telegram community. Okay, what you guys really need to understand is that there is about 4 buttons. There's 4 buttons I need to press to unmute myself before I go live. There's one for Telegram, there's one for the stream software, there's one for YouTube, and then there's another hardware button here on the mixing panel. So whenever I start a stream, I always forget to press at least one button. So this amazing opening, which you guys have to go back on the YouTube video and watch. But welcome, Telegram. Welcome. It's so good to have you all. I'm happy that you're all watching. I'm going to re-announce our guest in a second. But before I dive into this, get your glass of water, stay hydrated, and make sure to pay attention, because we're going to do 2 things in the upcoming weeks. First of all, in the poll that we did in Discord, you guys said that you would like to have a Easter egg event activation. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Easter eggs everywhere over the next few weeks. And it's going to be up to you to gather them. And then in some future AMA, I'm going to ask for people to list the Easter eggs in chat. And the one that has the most Easter eggs is going to win a prize. So there's this. Another thing is that we are going to do a meme contest. So we will be announcing this on Monday, but the point will be for everybody in the community to make the coolest possible meme about your open metaverse. And the coolest memes will be selected, and again, will get a special prize. So keep that in mind. Start thinking about it this weekend. When you have some spare time, you know, when you're sitting on the toilet, you have that moment of, bliss creativity. This is the moment to start thinking about the coolest Your Open Metaverse meme that you could possibly think of, then create it and then share it with us after we announce the contest on Monday. Today, I have a very, very, very special surprise. I already announced him on YouTube. I'm going to announce him again for Telegram because I forgot to press my button. We have with us the infamous Mr. Mark Studholme from MetaMundo. Please give it up. Do an applause in your little house so that he can hear it all the way in his home in Geldermalsen, the Netherlands.
You gave the secret away.
So, for those guys watching the stream, we got Mark on the left, in front of that amazingly beautiful white wall with the white t-shirt. He's really trying to blend in there. And then above me is our very own founder, Daniel van der Waals. And so for those of you that do not know, a few weeks ago, Daniel opened up a little group on LinkedIn called MetaVerse Explorers and started doing these weekly MetaVerse events, which are basically virtual reality meetings in Altspace VR, because obviously your open metaverse isn't ready yet for this, but will be in the future. And it's been a massive success. Thousands of people, well, thousands, perhaps a little bit big, but
Thousands of people, yeah.
Over 1,000 people flocked to this. Over 1,000 people flocked to this and have joined the group. And after that, we asked for people to sign up if they wanted to speak and do a presentation, a keynote in the metaverse. And we've had, I think by now we've had over 40 or 50 applications from the most amazing people from across the industry. And one of our first speakers was Mark Studholme here. So Mark, do you want to do a little introduction of yourself?
Of course. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be on the show.
It's a pleasure to be on the show. Intro about myself. So I'm actually a Brit living in the Netherlands. Dutch wife, Dutch kid. As you mentioned, in sunny Geldermalsen today. In terms of my professional work, I've always worked in the architecture and design industry. I have a background in architecture, but I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years actually. So MetaMundo, which is my latest venture. This is my fourth venture. The first venture that I worked on. And each venture I've worked on has in some way empowered creators. So the first venture I worked on was Cello.com. That's now the largest social network for architects and designers worldwide. The second one was called Crowdy House. We grew that to that was an e-commerce marketplace for independent furniture makers. So first one at Cello empowered architects, publishing tools. Crowdy House empowered furniture makers and designers through e-commerce and tooling. And then actually in blockchain. I was there. The Mt. Gox crash as well. 2014.
Don't remind me of that. I could have been a millionaire.
Let's not go back. The payouts are coming soon. That's what they say, right?
I didn't have any real proof of all my Bitcoin that I had on there, so not for me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, neither. How many years is that? 8 years.
I only found out like 1 or 2 years after the whole thing happened because I was out of Bitcoin for such a long time. So now it's
yeah.
Go on. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. No. Let's not go back to Mt. Gox. But just one note on that is it was necessary. Right? And good things came from that. It's such a the whole industry is just evolving so fast. And it needs to break so that we understand what stuff breaks, and then it becomes better for everyone. Anyway, 2017. I was absolutely being an entrepreneur. It was always raising funding. Was always a bit of a challenge. It was always a bit of a closed market. So the power of ICO allowed you to empower the retail investor to own a little bit of a blockchain company before the bigger guys got in. And I found that really enthralling as an idea. So I actually built in the Netherlands one of the first ICO platforms called BigX. It was great. It worked amazing. The KYC was great. Like it was, we had top tax lawyers in the team. We had top payment legal counsel. We made sure that, it collected all the correct KYC stuff. We built the platform, and then, as we all know, 2017, the big ICO crash.
Yep.
And again, another moment in the blockchain evolution, and we're better off for it now. Many years later. So since then, and of course that was a burn because we put a lot of time and effort into building this thing, and then bam, the market crashed. So actually, my background as well is with this entrepreneurial background is in growth, marketing, and marketplaces, but also designers and. For the past few years, I've been working and helping other investors on their growth strategy for marketplaces and also empowering creators. And I think 7 months ago now, my co-founder, who's a good friend of mine, was at my place. And we were just sparring about the power of NFTs and the fact that, you know,
you do this
NFT
often. Sorry to interrupt you. You do this often, like sparring with you know, people around you on these things.
Yeah. I mean,
so can we put a bug in that room, please? Because
it's entrepreneurship for me is a hobby and a sport, right? It's you live by it and you die by it, and it's a lot of fun, and I love to talk about it, even over dinner with friends. And you know, what's the next big thing?
Do you find that there's this interesting concept in the book Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich? I mean, it's a pretty old book, and some of its ideas are, I'd say, a little bit outdated. Obviously, written at the start of the previous century or in the 30s. So, but one of the ideas is of the mastermind group. Is that something that you actually, you know, do in your life? Do you have like a mastermind group of people around you that you try to connect with often to bounce ideas off and to jam with?
That's the MetaVerse exploring group, man. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that is true. I do. Yeah, I do. Like, some of my good friends are venture builders, investors. I have a pretty good network of people around me that, you know, that I enjoy their time on a social level, but then inevitably we always end up talking about ventures and where the world's going in terms of business.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, podcasts. I try to listen.
So which ones are you listening to? What's your number one? If you had to pick one. Okay, three. Pick three.
I really like Reid Hoffman's Masters of Scale.
Such a good one. I forgot about. Let me write that down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, he's an OG, right? And
he's an OG.
And some of the people that he gets
By the way,
on.
for those of you that don't know, if you're not from the space, Reid Hoffman is one of the founders of LinkedIn. Is a brilliant tech entrepreneur. Really an amazing guy to listen to.
Second one, I would say Tim Ferriss.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Writer of the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, and then I have been listening to a lot of the Outlier Ventures podcast, which is the MetaVerse podcast.
Yeah.
And I think those guys do a really good job of getting great projects on. I think they're a really good accelerator and fund.
Yeah.
That definitely keeps me up to date. But I've got a bunch, and obviously I'm listening to all things MetaVerse at the moment. So Kathy Hackle's new podcast I've been listening to.
I haven't heard that one yet. Is it any good?
It's marketing in the MetaVerse, right? Or MetaVerse marketing, it's called, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, and I mean, actually, I just have to give a quick shout out as well. I've just been on the Piers Kicks podcast, so that should be being published anytime now, which is run by Delphi Digital. So check out that. Piers is one of the leading guys in writing about interoperability, and his is. He's doing a lot of podcasts, and he's asking. I just came from his podcast, and he had some really good questions, some ones that stumped me, I have to say.
Yeah. It's for the viewers and the listeners out there. Mark came on a few minutes early for me to make sure that the tech was all in order and audio was working, which obviously I failed again because the first minute on Telegram was muted again. I keep trying. Perhaps somebody can make a meme on that, But Mark came on and he was like, I just came off the podcast. Whoa, this guy, he really caught me off guard there with some of his questions. So, but that really, in your defense, Mark, I think that really goes to show the level and the complexity that comes with all of this metaverse stuff, you know, how it all comes together. It doesn't really matter what level of intelligence you have or how well prepared you are. There are so many different points of view, so many different ideas, and so much cross-pollination going on that you can't possibly be prepared for the stuff that's going to come up in these conversations.
And I also have to realize that, you know, if the metaverse pyramid is like this, you know,
we have constant Illuminati jokes. So at the office,
there we go. Then that's it. If this is the metaverse pyramid, you know, I have to say I'd be like around here. I'd say Piers is at the top. He's one of the top guys who's written about it. But going also, yesterday I just had 2 impromptu Discord spaces with our community, and they honestly said to us, like, you know, what you're doing at MetaMundo and what you're doing in the MetaPortal is really in depth, and we're solving some really hard problems. But I also have to remember that actually I need to step back and explain things like a 5-year-old would understand. To be honest with you, even if I've got a 2-year-old, I can't imagine a 5-year-old understanding much about what we do. But I hope that they will enjoy what we do. But you just got to be aware of that, right? Because as you get deeper and deeper into this industry, you start picking up the jargon, you start understanding these complex ideas more. But then could you explain to your grandmother?
Yeah, exactly. The risk is that's something that we're also, in fact, if I go back to your open metaverse and our marketing department, something that we've really been struggling with is the idea of who is our target audience, right? We have our community, which in this case is mainly crypto people. So they understand the crypto side and they understand NFTs and they're pretty on top of that. But they don't always really understand what the metaverse is and where this is going. But then there's also some of those in our community that do, right? But on top of that, what we're building, we're not going to be successful unless we get, you know, bigger brands, investors, you know, that stuff on board, because they really need to help us to build these worlds. People need to go there. So normal people like Jane and Joe, right, from Geldermalsen, or perhaps Mark and I'm sorry to say I don't know your wife's name, but you know, if they want to come over and see why they would ever spend time in the metaverse, they also need to understand what it means for them, right? So that means that we cannot have that jargon in all of our marketing and all of our communication, because that will just scare these people away, right? So we need to break it down, make it digestible for them, and include them step by step in that journey. And sometimes it can be really hard to find the right tone of voice for every audience and not have them get mixed up and stuff like that.
So dare I say it, I don't know, Daniel, you look a little bit younger than I am, but we are now, you know, the equivalent of boomers to the metaverse, right? So like let's just look at the data. The amount of under 16-year-olds spending time on Roblox compared to spending time on Facebook. Yeah. It's such a massive chasm between the two. Yeah. This is where the young generation is. And I was back in the UK for Christmas, and I saw my nephew. And for Christmas, you know, he got fewer physical Christmas presents, but he'd actually got wearables for Fortnite and Roblox money for Roblox. Exactly. So
my little nephew just sent me a Fortnite video on TikTok, just literally 10 minutes ago. But the crazy thing is that for these kids, they already understand the concept of a virtual currency and a virtual world in which you come together with your friends and you create and do stuff. But the thing is that we also need to get on board the generation that's just ahead of them. And in terms of investors, even the generation ahead of them, you know, those boomers that you were talking about, you know, you and me, and then the ones that actually do have money. because and this is not something that comes native to them. So how do you guys at MetaMundo go about bringing these people on board?
And, you know, we have to go for the low-hanging fruit to start with. The people that understand, you know, we're working with the open metaverse. So that's blockchain enabled metaverses. So that's, you know, spatial, Somnium Space, Decentraland, Cryptovoxels. These are the your open metaverse, of course, that allows for, you know, blockchain verified assets to be used. So the low hanging fruit obviously is, you know, crypto natives, NFT collectors. So just for example, we're working with a number of artists, 3D artists, make NFT galleries. And so that we know that they want those. You know, we're working on creating art galleries. So that's the low-hanging fruit. But then how do we educate people, the non-crypto natives, to move over?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, what are the incentives? Why should they spend time and in the metaverse compared to, you know, scrolling Instagram, for example?
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Well, this is it. It's fun, and I feel like it's a better, you know, it's more engaging. It's a better way to spend your digital time than you know, you can actually have social events with friends. You could catch up with friends without having to get out in the rain and get on a train, and of course we should be doing those things as well. But COVID accelerated, you know, these online social activities. So.
Yeah.
And then you know, educating people on Web3 and how we can all own a little bit of the future of the internet. That's just mind blowing. But yeah, how we can educate people to get their heads around it's definitely a challenge.
So this lets me. I think this is a good moment for us to shimmy a little bit into the prepared conversation. You know, for those of you out there, having an AMA or a podcast like this isn't always easy, because on the one hand you want to have like this free flowing conversation, but you also, you know, don't want to let it go anywhere. So we had a little bit of conversation up front, me and Mark, and obviously Daniel has been in the conversation ever since last Wednesday and Mark's presentation, and he talked about MetaMundo. But one of the things that we, you know, something that comes up a lot is, you know, what is the vision for the metaverse? This is a question that's being asked a lot, and Mark said, oh, I'm kind of getting sick of the question, and I totally feel where you're coming from. And at the same time, I think you can agree or disagree, Mark, but I think you're on the same page that this is a conversation that still needs to be had, because there's so many different definitions out there, so many different interpretations. I mean, just the other day, I spoke to somebody that basically considered the metaverse and NFTs to be one and the same thing, believe it or not, right? So what's your vision on the metaverse?
It's actually not too far off the Snow Crash vision of the metaverse, which was the original definition by Neil Stephenson, actually, which is a multiple virtual environments where you can travel to and go in and engage in quests, in games, and educate yourself and do activities which you know, you find interesting, and that's in 3D. That's my definition. I think some people also define, for example, Discord as a version of the metaverse. Maybe it's not really in mind, because I'm just really positive and bullish on the fact that, and I mean, NVIDIA also sees this, right? Like that, if I saw something the other day, like 5% of the web currently is in 3D, and if that's going to go to 50% in X amount of years, and I believe that, I believe, and then the next belief is the idea that, yes, my nephew, he bought wearables for Fortnite, but it's a walled garden. So I want him to be able to use those wearables in other games and other 3D environments as well. I'm
just curious, have you, because we're talking about kids now, we're talking about wearables and virtual worlds, and we have a kid on the show today, Daniel. So did you by any chance ever read the series Otherland by Tad Williams?
I have not, no.
Okay, because I really recommend it, because one of the other topics we wanted to quickly talk about today was you know, what are some of the key problems that we need to resolve to realize the metaverse. And then after that, we talked about policing the metaverse, which kind of hooked on to, you know, inherent dangers of the online world moving into a metaverse environment. And in the Otherland science fiction series with Ted Williams, what's actually happening is that people live a big part of their life in these virtual worlds through virtual headsets and you know, suits. And then suddenly one day kids start to go into a catatonic state, and nobody knows why, and nobody knows what's going on. But the science says that their soul's missing. Right, this is in the future science fiction, and so what's happening is that kids are getting their souls stolen over through the metaverse, really, and it's kind of, you know, it's a little dark.
This is why you joined us, Aragorn?
No, absolutely not. But I just wanted to use that as a metaphor for the fear that's out there with a lot of people. For the metaverse. I mean, not everybody I talk to is absolutely 100% super enthusiastic about it. So maybe we can go into that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? Daniel, first you go, because I know your thoughts a little bit, and then perhaps Mark can add on to that. Is that all right?
Sure. So basically what I like, my definition of the metaverse is basically, because you told about your nephew that gets like Fortnite skins and gifts like that instead of physical gifts. Well, the definition that I like the most basically is the metaverse is like a point of time in time where people are valuing virtual goods or their virtual life, their digital life, more than the physical life. So I think that's a very trend. I just want to add that to the discussion, basically, that, you know, 20 years ago, people didn't want mobile phones, you know, they hated it. There are a lot of discussions like from 2005 or whatever, like people bashing on mobile phones, you know, and now we're addicted to it, basically everyone, you know, we're constantly...
True,
you know.
But not everybody likes that. There are a lot of people that saying, look, we are getting completely disconnected from each other because everybody's in their phones instead of their lives. So what are your thoughts on that, Mark?
Yeah, so we're there already, right?
Yeah. We're there already.
We can't turn back time.
No.
So let's make it better. Let's make it more worthwhile. Let's make sure that, you know, if we're going to be in this digital world, let's try and make it as real as possible, close to reality. And I hope at some point in the future it will be, you know, it will be merged with reality.
Sounds a little bit like the obstacle is the way, like, you know, we can't avoid it, so we might as well lean into it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's very hard to, when society has got used to something, to stop them, like to turn it back, right? It's, you know, I mean, it's definitely, it's not for nothing that Steve Jobs said that he didn't want his children to use like the iPhone or the iPad until a certain age. And I agree with that, right? There's a lot for you to learn in the real life, and we should stay, you know, in real life is amazing, and we should still enjoy that. But when you want to wind down, and, you know, you could, instead of, like, my dream is that instead of us sitting there watching Netflix, why don't we go and be in the series? Yeah. Do it ourselves, right?
I can see Daniel's going,
awesome fishing. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so watching something is passive. I think we can be more proactive with our downtime and our relaxing time, and I think we can get more out of it as well. And especially if it does encourage social interaction, instead of, you know, some people feel more comfortable interacting with people digitally, and that's okay. And you know,
I feel what you're saying a lot, because I've always been a gamer. By the way, there's a question from Marloes Pomp in Telegram. She raised her hand. I'll get to you in a second, I promise. I've always loved gaming, right? From very early on, even before we even had the internet at my home. Did you raise your hand? Did you lower your hand, Marloes? Don't lower your hand, because then I won't know. Okay, there you are. So I've always loved gaming, but for me, gaming, I've always preferred it over watching series. And it's exactly about what you just said, Mark. It's about being a part of it. I like games. I've always liked games because it allows me to be a part of the story, but also in control of my own story, right? And that's something that you sometimes lack with a series, or even with a book. And I know it can be relaxing and it can also be taxing to play a game. But it I always want to be in control of my destiny, right? It kind of comes back to that Matrix idea of, having a choice. And I want to have a choice. So let's see, because Marloes, let's see if I can. I'm opening up. Marloes, are you there? Did she leave? Looks like she just left when I tried to give her speaking rights. She's gone. That's too bad. Okay, well, if she comes back, we'll see if she comes back. So just for all of you guys out there, before we continue this conversation, Daniel, Mark, we have some people in the chat on YouTube. We have some people in the Telegram community that are listening in and in the chat there. So for you guys, I hope you've been here from the start, because we're going to do a little reward at the end that we'll announce. And one of the requirements for you... Oh, Marloes, I have to go. Sorry, next time I'll raise my questions, contribute. Oh, no, she's too bad. Well, talk to you next time, Marloes. But for those of you that have been listening, and you want to reward, apart from being in the stream from beginning to end, there's 2 more things that you need to do. So I quickly want to put that out there, and then I'll remind you at the end. So 1, you need to post in chat through MetaMundo to your open metaverse and beyond. That's a message. And 2, you need to retweet the pinned post that's in the MetaMundo Telegram channel. That's correct. Or tweet, sorry. Retweet the MetaMundo pinned tweet and tag your open metaverse, which is @YoMetaverse. And then you got to follow both of us on Twitter, right? So unless you do that, you won't be able to claim the prize that we have for you guys at the end.
I'll just quickly say what our Twitter handle is. That's MetaMundo_NFT. And then, we have a pinned post, which is about our NFT drop, the MetaPortal. So if you comment there @YoMetaverse, YOMetaverse, then we'll go through the comments at the end of the chat, and there might be a good chance of getting a special gift.
All right. Cool. So can you give the MetaMundo handle one more time? Then I'll type it for everybody.
That's MetaMundo_NFT.
All right. Go retweet and follow. Cool. Right. So let's get back to our conversation there, because it did lead us a little bit astray, but that's good because that allows us to dig into another question that we talked about previously as well. Some of the key problems that need to be solved to realize the metaverse. Perhaps you can talk about that a little bit, Mark, but also in terms of what MetaMundo and your open metaverse are trying to realize, and which individual problems we're trying to solve.
I mean, there's plenty of great problems to solve to enable this true metaverse, which is, like a 3D web that we want to enjoy and engage with. There's at the start, there's the hardware. So we need more GPUs, like a lot more. We need to get those up and running in the cloud. We need to have more concurrent users at any one time. So the chips definitely need to get faster. And of course, the leader in that is NVIDIA, and they're doing a fantastic job. And some of the GPUs they're bringing out at the moment, just incredible. But it needs to get to lifelike polygon counts, right? Yeah. And then obviously latency. So 5G is going to help a lot with that too. So the latency and how fast these 3D environments are going to be rendered on your own device. But then also the power of your own device too. So there's always a balance and a payoff, right, between what your device powers with this metaverse and actually what the cloud powers. And it's interesting that Decentraland recently announced they're moving towards client-based Decentraland. So that will improve the graphics significantly. Yeah. So the hardware, and obviously there's many. We could go on a granular level in the hardware. There's a lot of stuff to fix there. And then game engines. So the leading ones right now are Unity and Unreal. There's also web-based game engines which are appearing. For example, MetaVerse. We're a big fan of those guys. What Jin's building. He's an advisor of ours. So we've got the game engines, then we've got the engineers, of course, and the actual, like you're seeing now with Unreal, they're bringing out blueprints, which is an easy way to animate and code Unreal games, which is a really good start because then that's removing those barriers for people to develop those games. Yeah. Then,
the only thing, if I can just cut in there, what I've been seeing is that blueprints are such an essential part. But whenever content creators on YouTube and other platforms, and an example I'd like to give there is VR Division, which is a partner we work with. Whenever they put out content on how to make blueprints, use blueprints, this content doesn't do necessarily very well, right? It doesn't get a lot of views and such. And I think that's a real shame because it really demotivates content creators to make content around that. Whereas it's such an essential part of the whole process of creating virtual worlds and assets, etc. So,
absolutely, and it's a great move because I think it's C# that Unreal is built. That you either have to program in C# or C++ for Unreal or Unity, and they're not the easiest languages to program in, and this is obviously a step forward. And how do we make this animating easier? And then the next challenge, which is what we're working on, is the 3D content. It's not for nothing that Meta, Facebook, is hiring 10,000 3D creators in Europe to build Horizon worlds. Epic Games just acquired Sketchfab, or not just acquired, but last year acquired Sketchfab. Which was the largest 3D asset marketplace. The shortage, if we're going to build, if the next version of the web is going to be 3D, we have a big shortage of 3D designers. We need to be creating these experiences.
I've been telling my roommate, literally, because I have a roommate, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur. Well, I'm not really an entrepreneur right now because I work for Beam Up, but I hope to be a shareholder in the future. But I've been an entrepreneur. But telling my roommate, if you want to make it big in this world, go learn Unreal Engine today, right? Because over the last 3-4 years, if you look at different parts of the world, in Singapore, year on year, since 2018, demand for Unreal Engine developers has gone up by 900%. In the UK, it's been 400% every year. And in New Zealand, it's been 600%. Right? And there's just 3 places in the world. It's incredible. Like, if you go into Unreal Engine development now, you're going to be gold dust, right?
Yeah.
And Unreal to create awesome meta spaces also on YOM. So, why wouldn't you start with the Unreal Engine?
The war
create assets for MetaMundo, the marketplace,
Which version are you guys building on?
Well, we're making it forward compatible. So we have some environments on Unreal Engine 4 right now, but all of the work that's being done right now, today, is doing Unreal Engine 5 already. Yeah.
Wow. It looks incredible, right? That stuff that they did for, was it The Mandalorian?
Virtual production, Actually, last Monday, and this is something that I don't think did we cover this yet? Well, last Monday, me and our CEO, Alex, and one of our clients that we're working with to create this amazing. I wish I could talk about this more, but we're gonna launch.
It's gonna be so good.
we're gonna launch a DJ's career. Gave her a virtual twin, and she's gonna get her own world city on Europa MetaVerse. But anyway, we went to have ourselves immortalized.
Some alpha right there.
Yeah. We got ourselves immortalized as an avatar. So we went to the University of Breda, Applied Sciences, went into a virtual production studio, and we got our bodies and our faces scanned so that we can have real life avatars. And funny thing was, I was there and I was talking to our partner Replica that we're working with on this one. And I said to Mao, wish I'd been to the gym more often this year during the pandemic. And Mao was like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm just gonna ZBrush you. It's gonna make you look good.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
But yeah, I went a bit off topic there. I'm super sorry. Just get excited about stuff.
That sounds very exciting. Yeah, I would
Do you
love
know?
to.
Do you know Replica, Mark? Do you know?
No, I don't. I don't.
Ah, well, you're really gonna
You
check
can
them
really
out.
check it out.
Yes,
But,
Replica is in Rotterdam, and they're a world-leading avatar meta-human creation studio.
Don't say more.
uh,
They did. Yeah, that's. We can talk about that, right? So they also did David Guetta. So yeah, they're really. I don't know. This is this is better than this. You can't.
We can talk about everything they did. We just can't talk about the
What we're
partnership
doing.
we're working on.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Okay.
It's gonna be awesome though.
Yep. Right. Okay. So we're going.
That sounds awesome.
We're
Yeah,
47
sure.
minutes in now. No. What's the time? Oh yeah, 40 minutes in.
Yeah,
So-
let's go.
Yeah, I mean, let's finish off with the problems of the metaverse, shall we? Like where
Yes.
we're going. Right.
Yes.
So I got to the good bit, which is what we're working on, and that is, the actual creation of these environments, and obviously I have this background in architecture, and I truly believe architects are one of the best professions to, ride this metaverse wave. I believe, they're trained to design spaces in 3D. They spent a lot of training on that. And they know how to make spaces, but also game developers and game designers, of course. But we need an army for this, right? So, my job is to enable, I believe every architecture firm should have a VR department, building, working on these kinds of things.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're basically making it as easy as possible for 3D creators to basically mint 3D assets, and then we make the metaverse ready. We make it in one NFT, an NFT that can work in multiple virtual environments. So that's future-proofing the NFT as well, because you can see the value of a JPEG, right? It's a JPEG. It's instantly interoperable, but 3D files are so fragmented. We've got GLTF, .vox. We've got multiple files from different kinds of software. So what we're saying is, okay, we'll make it in one NFT, and we'll make sure that we have optimized files in one NFT for each environment. We're
a parent NFT, right, or something. Can I see it like that? And then children NFTs, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so we built our own smart contract architecture, inspired by actually the project Digitalax. Do you guys know that? The founder is Emma Jane, very smart lady who we've met, she's there is already existing Ethereum have proposed this structure, so we're making the most of it. This is our solution, and we don't really see any alternative right now because like always, and I think this has always been the case, that the games have been so fragmented. A game studio will always do their own way of doing things, and it really, unfortunately, there is no standardization like you have with a JPEG. No. So this is our solution.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'd like to say that it's kind of funny because in a way you kind of trying to solve the same problem as we are to some extent. I mean, yes, admittedly, we're building your open metaverse, and we're not building on connecting it directly to other metaverses. That's not the tech that we're building. But I think that if you take a step back and look at it a different way, the coin that we kind of or the term that we kind of coined here is layer one metaverse, right? Your open metaverse is a layer one metaverse, and like MetaMundo is trying to create this infrastructure where you have like a parent NFT, and then you have a way to easily, quickly transmit these NFTs to different metaverses. So, you still have it as an NFT, but you can take it everywhere you want. We kind of approach it from the bottom up. We thought rather than building another metaverse like Decentraland or Sandbox or Realm or, name any of them that has this set world in which you basically have to align with the purpose of the world, right? So for Decentraland, that is basically virtual real estate. So you can build something there, but ultimately, right, you're still limited by the kind of intentions that they have with their world. We wanted to say, look, we're going to create a universe that is basically empty, as black as the void was before, God or Allah or, whatever the Holy Spirit of Buddha. I don't know what other spiritual forms there's out there, but before these came into existence and created the world that we live in. Personally, I'm a big believer in science, so it would be the Big Bang, or perhaps something else. But we thought if we do that, then we create an infrastructure where people can create each a different world on their own, but they'll all be interconnected from the start, allowing you to move between them seamlessly with your NFTs or with your virtual assets that are linked back into the blockchain.
And on Unreal Engine, so it's going to look slick, right?
Yes.
So basically what I want to add to that is, so the focus with us is also the experience, So basically what we want, or what we would like to visit, like metaspaces or metaverses where the experiences are super fun. So basically, like Wednesday, we had a great experience on Altspace. It was kind of a challenge to get all the, a lot of technical difficulties, but it showed also the problems of like the metaverses that are right now. Like it was a really big challenge to get the MetaPortal into it. We needed to at last minute to resize the polygon count way lower. We also met each other as very cartoony avatars. People need to use a Microsoft account or create a Microsoft account to log in. That's not what we want. We want to go to a metaspace, and have it be seamless and to see each other lifelike, and don't have to travel to go to have that,
That's where we're going. That's where we have to go. But the first thing that comes to my mind then is like, how are you going to power it, right? Like, are you guys working with AWS or Google Cloud?
So there is definitely going to be some kind of discussion on this, but right now we are focusing on the Azure cloud with Microsoft, because we're part of Microsoft startup program as well. Also because obviously we didn't know this up front. I would be lying if I said we did, but Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard really was for us amazing, because it shows us that our gamble to go with Microsoft on this might be the right one, because they're really investing in that technology, that infrastructure. But EMA, I look.
It's a good choice. It is a great setup.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I'm very grateful personally, and therefore I also hope. I mean, right now, we're talking, but obviously, and our community knows this. There's no official partnership or collaboration between MetaMundo and Europe Metaverse. But I think that we're definitely going to continue the conversation after this AMA, because even no matter how amazing and hopefully successful your open metaverse will be, there will be other metaverses out there, perhaps even layer 1 metaverses like ourselves, but definitely layer 2 metaverses in the future. I mean, who knows? Decentraland might actually survive for 5 years. So when that happens,
I mean, for us, it's all, we want to work with all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's about creating these environments, and we'd love to work with you. And we're definitely restricted by Decentraland has so many restrictions. The plot size, you're only allowed 4 stories.
Exactly.
We want to get the Burj Khalifa into the metaverse, right?
Man! Don't talk, everyone. Don't talk. Okay, so the Burj Khalifa is kind of a big building, but we have a big surprise coming.
Are you guys doing the Burj Khalifa?
Let me put it this way: our studio in Istanbul is working on not the Burj Khalifa, but we have a virtual reality environment that we're working on, which will be part of one of our demo worlds, so to speak, that has the Burj Khalifa in there as a reference. So there's a building next to it, which is a little bit bigger than the Burj Khalifa, but we're using the Burj Khalifa to kind of get the scaling and the feel of it right. So that's.
Oh, you guys went bigger.
We went bigger, yeah. We went bigger, and we went about 1,000 years into the future. But that's all I'm going to say on it for now. Concept designed by Leon Tucker, by the way, for those of you who know him.
So, we got to work together, right? So, we're launching in March with 5 incredible 3D creators, just mind-blowing, and each one's a slightly different concept. We've got like a park, we have a really amazing NFT art gallery with stunning aesthetics. We've got actually a villa, which has some interesting secret rooms, for example. So we've got some really exciting projects coming, and we would love those. Obviously, once you guys are ready, we'll make them Unreal Engine ready. We'll have an SDK, and then it should be, the ambition is one click, bam, get it working in your open metaverse, and we use your tooling. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
So I have a question. Sorry about that. Can I
Daniel, go
have a
ahead.
question about the practicality of the MetaPortal? So basically, what I would think is, don't you need like 2 MetaPortals, like one in the world that you're at and one at the world that you want to go to, basically? So how does it work? If you have don't you need like 2, or how do you navigate? Like, I'm, for instance, at the I don't know, in a meta space of YOM, with the awesome the building that stands up like much bigger than the Burj Khalifa, and I think, okay, I want to go to Decentraland or go to Roblox or whatever I'm feeling like. So how would that work? You need a portal at the other platform, right? How does it?
So let's introduce the MetaPortal, shall we? I don't think we've done it yet.
Actually,
Yeah, that's good. Maybe
let's do that. We didn't do it yet.
Sorry,
Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna.
So
No. Where is it? I have it here already. Where is it not looping? Play the video.
Daniel's full of questions because he's listened to the whole story.
Oops, I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Oh man, yeah, technology hates me.
It's just so cool, It's really, I love the idea. So
Always play. Here we go. Coming up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, but down. Yes.
Do you have the sound?
Yeah.
All right. That's a real short one, right?
Can you hear it?
No. It's okay.
Oh my god, it's playing on the television behind me.
I can't see you anymore.
Here we go. One more time for everybody with sound.
I don't hear the sound, but
I don't hear the sound either. People that are watching right now make memes about technical difficulties in Aragorn, Mr. MetaVerse.
Okay,
That
the
was
sound was
awesome.
for stream. You guys couldn't hear it, but it was on stream. But you talked through it. But it's okay. They got it.
we're wrecking the sound.
Back to the interview.
So,
Well, look,
MetaPortal.
in my defense, when normal people do this, they have a whole studio of people handling all the technology, and I have to do that, and I still have to have an interesting conversation with you, handsome guy. So,
Yeah, we don't do anything. We're just chatting. So MetaPortal. We've given an introduction about MetaMundo, and the MetaPortal is going to be our show. It's going to be a showcase of our technology. It's going to be the first of its kind NFT. It's a device that will allow you to travel and transport through the metaverse. You will, if you own this NFT, you can put it on your land in the metaverse, or you can insert it into a virtual environment such as spatial. And there's many more virtual environment partnerships coming up. We're going to constantly be adding new integrations and new utility to this MetaPortal. And the concept is, to foster travel and connectivity between the open metaverse. We have developed this MetaPortal that you can put on your land or put in spatial, and if you can transport yourself through it. And to answer your question, Daniel, you don't need one on the other side, because the technology at the moment is just a hyperlink. So it's a unique, exclusive hyperlink. So when you go through the MetaPortal, it will take you somewhere, but it's not that perfect, smooth transport that you think of like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure kind of when they get in their phone booth quite yet. But we are
That
going
would be awesome. Maybe one of the designs, because you told me. Oh no, yeah. The design
so
can change, right?
Yeah, so we're working on it. And the industry needs to catch up a little bit. But this is a real showcase, and We're only minting 1,500 because we want to get it into the right hands. We want to get it into people that are super passionate about the metaverse, that are advocates of the open metaverse, that want to contribute to, this community. For us, it's about building this really unique community that's, promoting and in favor of this metaverse that connects with each other. So this is the MetaPortal. It's our Genesis NFT. It's our first NFT that we're dropping, and it'll give you a bunch of other exclusive access to our community, to some of the 3D NFTs that we're dropping, and it's we're very excited about it. We've got a really good team behind us, and it's dropping on the 22nd of February.
Awesome. 22nd of February, ladies and gentlemen. So I know that you're obviously here for the TG of your open metaverse, which you're not going to get, but at least we have something else for you, and that's the 22nd of February when they'll be dropping MetaMundo 1500 limited edition MetaVerse portals, and you can be one of the first one to own one. Is that correct, Mark?
You are. That is correct. So let's repeat the requirements for the competition, shall we?
Actually, well, before we dive into that, there's a few questions. I just want to see if we can answer them, because, obviously I owe that to our community. Let's see. What are the advantages of YOM to differentiate from other metaverses? So that's one. That one's about your own metaverse. Well, just to go quickly into that, I love my soul. We're a layer 1 metaverse, right? Every other metaverse out there right now is a layer 2 metaverse, but ours is a layer 1. That means that we're building the ultimate infrastructure of the universe of the future. Yeah, the metaverse. And if you go, no, I think
you can read more about it also on Selenium. I think the description on Selenium,
Selenium Launchpad has a great description. Thank you, Daniel. Another question that we have here: how to be one to mint this NFT? I think this is about MetaMundo. You'll have to answer that one, Mark.
One more time.
It's in Telegram. The question is how to be the one to mint this NFT. So I think that the question is really how can you get in possession of a MetaMundo MetaPortal?
Yeah. So listeners to this, if you retweet and comment on our pinned tweet on our MetaMundo Twitter account, MetaMundo_NFT, and then mention your metaverse, YO metaverse, with this call, in this call. So mention that in a comment. Follow your metaverse as well. Then at the end of the call, we'll go through and we'll see your account and we'll send you a message.
Everybody get that? If you didn't get it, you can watch it back on the YouTube recording, which will be released pretty soon after we did some final editing after this episode, which is a great reason to watch this whole AMA one more time, which I'm sure you want to. We also got a quick question here in chat. A few questions. Let's see. Is there going to be a possibility to lend out the portal? So this is for the MetaPortal. Will you be able to lend out your MetaPortal to somebody else?
It's a great idea. There is actually protocols out there which allow you to rent NFTs. So we know renft.io. That is when you own an NFT, it's possible to rent one there. So it's on the blockchain. So you should be able to transfer it from one wallet to another, and it'll be temporarily rented. So
cool. So
the answer will be.
Mark,
sorry, say that, Daniel.
So I can rent one of your MetaPortals for some YOM tokens, and then give it back to you also after using it for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to use a portal you use, Daniel, but
no. But dirty goods.
I'll make sure not to break it,
Yeah, bring it back in one piece.
All right, so another question here in chat is, I have one question for you about the project from ZsterX. Are you at all concerned about the recent problems with Solana chain? As late yesterday, some transactions were still taking hours to complete. So this is one for your open metaverse, obviously. Zster, no, we're not worried, because Solana is we have a lot of faith in what they're doing, and I think that something that a lot of people tend to forget is that Solana is very young. in terms of blockchain, and they're already one of the biggest in the world. And so that brings with it a lot of challenges. It's basically like, you have an alpha or a beta build out there and people are already, pulling 200% load on it. So no, I'm not worried, because even though it might seem like years in crypto land, if we're looking ahead, multiple years into the future, I really think they're gonna be a solid choice. So don't worry about that. I have confidence. We all have confidence. Otherwise, we wouldn't have picked them, and we wouldn't be good supporters if we gave up on the first hiccup. I mean, I hope that our community out there, and I'm sure Mark feels the same about MetaMundo, we want you guys to bear with us, as we sometimes might struggle as well to overcome some obstacles in our way. That's just the way of it. See, is there any more questions? How do these projects work together if they are built on different blockchains, Yozo? Well, I think that maybe Mark wants to answer that one, because it really hooks into their philosophy.
Yeah. So you guys run Solana.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're building on Polygon to start with, and the reason for that is Decentraland, CryptoVoxels, Somnium Space. These guys are Sandbox 2. These guys are on Polygon. Really, the Solana ecosystem is super interesting. We're already investigating, looking into bridges. So how can we bridge those assets from Polygon to Immutable X, Solana, Tezos, Cardano? There's plenty of other chains that are building MetaVerse applications. So the time will come.
Exactly.
So
I think for me to chime in on that one, and this is also due to, Daniel's philosophy. Daniel is a founder, right? But Daniel, let's be honest, people out there, Daniel is not a massive crypto fan, or, well, fan is not the right word. He's just not massively into the whole crypto blockchain thing. He believes in the metaverse.
Learning it right now, basically. So
He believes,
start with a crypto proposition, basically.
Yeah. Our CTO, Jorrit, is a genius when it comes to blockchain. That's why he's the CTO, obviously, I'd say. And our CEO, Alex, is also very well versed. And then, of course, our advisor, etc. But the point is that, we're not just a crypto company or blockchain company. We're a metaverse company. And I think the same goes for MetaMundo. So what we're making the first steps into creating that ultimately really interconnected and interoperable metaverse. And so right now, MetaMundo might be on a different blockchain as ourselves. But in the future, there will be ways to connect that. That's what we're building towards. And therefore, we believe in the metaverse. That's why we brought Mark on the show today. That's why we gave him, we were so proud that he wanted to speak at our event on Wednesday, because all of us together are building on different parts of the metaverse in different places that might not be connected yet, but one day they will. It's like different continents, and we're building, new airways between them, or whatever you want to call it. There's so many metaphors.
Yeah, and also like Wednesday, we did it like in Altspace. Well, it's very cartoony, but it already showed like the potential of the metaverse, not like presenting slides or a video, but you have like the 3D objects, there next to you, and people can see it and look into it and do fun. It's so early phase, but you see already like the cool potential it has for enhancing our meetups and events, so that's what I want to explore also with the LinkedIn group. And very cool, because Mark has a very busy schedule, and also we have a lot of other CEOs and founders that are lined up of other big metaverse companies, and they all want to give back to the community, basically, and help promote the metaverse.
So Yozo asked another question. This will be the last one that we're gonna answer, because I went way over time again. But it's just so hard to keep it short when talking about the metaverse and having people on the show like Mark. But Yozo says, I understand, but metaverse is now connected to the blockchain. Will they all be connected? Will they all want to be connected? They eventually have to speak the same language, don't they? Well, Yozo, I could give you a complicated technical answer, or, some kind of philosophy, but instead let me ask you a question. How many different languages are there in the world? We're still all working together, right? Towards globalization. And you can get on a plane today. You can fly to Italy and be on a holiday, and it works just fine. So trust me when I say that these are not big obstacles in the long term. We will overcome them. And on that note, I'd like to end. Mark, let me give you a very, very big thank you for coming onto the AMA today. This AMA is turning more into like a long form podcast, but it's been amazing to have you. For those of you out there, we'd love to have you on the show as well if you're doing interesting, cool stuff. We also want to have you in our Metaverse Exploring group. Your open Metaverse is not just about building our platform. It's about bringing together the Metaverse community, the open Metaverse community, I'd like to add, and exploring together what amazing future lies ahead of us and how we can realize that. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It was great fun. Hopefully we'll do another one at some point.
I promise you we will. And I'm sure that Daniel will take care of that. Just quickly thinking, okay, yeah, we should reiterate one more time. So for those of you that didn't know
can
yet.
I add something to
yeah,
that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, we with the Metaverse Exploring group, we have the keynotes sessions, but soon we will also start with a roundtable discussion, because I think it would be cool to have like different creators, founders, CEOs, experts, discuss like, well, the first theme is going to be what will the ultimate Metaverse be, So that's also, I guess, interesting, to get more, this is like a complete rabbit hole, but I like these philosophical discussions, or these, you can go so deep with this, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's also good to know for the people that are interested also in joining.
Where can people go to find information on Metaverse Explorers?
Yeah, so basically we have a LinkedIn group. So, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you can create one and search on LinkedIn for Metaverse Exploring. And just send a request to join. I will accept it, and then you can follow the steps in the pinned post to get started. So you can join with your PC as well. We're doing these weekly meetups. They're now in Altspace. Aside from that, we're doing also expeditions, and that means that we're trying out different platforms. And we will have a tour guide every time.
Maybe you should get a MetaMundo portal for the group so that you can use it on your expedition. Just a thought. Mark, where do people go when they want to know more about MetaMundo?
Discord.gg/MetaMundo.
Awesome.
We're all in there.
We're all in there.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, all right, and then finally, for those of you that want to know more about your open metaverse and what we're trying to do, you can go to YOM.community. On the YOM.community website, you will find a link to our Discord, which we also have. And you can also go to our Telegram group and any other social media that we have there. That's going to be it for today. If you guys want to get whitelisted for MetaMundo, don't forget to retweet MetaMundo's pinned post on their Twitter and add the tagline "through the MetaMundo" to your open metaverse and beyond. And make sure to follow both YOM Metaverse and @MetaMundo_NFT on Twitter, and you'll be you might get whitelisted for a MetaMundo portal. Also, you need to reserve 0.15 Ethereum for it, even if you do get whitelisted, because it doesn't come free, and there will only be 1,500 of those. That's it for today. Yes, I went over time again, but the good thing is that now you can listen on your way to work on Monday, and then again on your way home to the full show. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Daniel. Gonna see you all, well, not all of you, but hopefully everybody out there in the chat, Telegram, and YouTube again next week.
And hopefully in the Metaverse, join us.
And hopefully in the Metaverse. Where's my button? Here it is. Thank you so much, guys, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Ciao. Ciao.